baby. I'm praying for you. You get one of these. Do you remember the one? I'm kidding. I'm really kidding.
I heard she's
Oh, yeah.
and then they can start all over. Then they have reconstruction. That's what it's. Is she from? I didn't know.
It's 6 o'clock. It'll start.
Well, I mean, I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Even better.
They were right up at the door.
It was left open yesterday.
Oh, hey, people hear me. I don't hear them. Here we go.
Call special. Call special meeting order. Go short, please call roll.
Burgess.
Here.
Gordon.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Osmond. Washington.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
All right, go back number 2, review proposal to borrow from various funds, pay 2007A PEC bonds, in the amount of, and this amount has changed. Right now, it's in the amount of $458,060.93, which I think everyone should have received the latest update from Mohan, which it's now, we only need $457,929.35, so it's about $1,000 off. Do you have any questions, comments? Did everyone have a chance to meet with Mohan, talk to him? Have any questions, get your questions answered? Trustee Burgess.
Yeah. Yes, I did have, I did speak to Mohan in regards to the amount that we're borrowing, but my question still remains because you didn't inform me about the payouts that are being handled in December. And if we don't get any revenue between now and then, we'll be in another predicament to have to borrow some money because of the, as you know, and as the board knows, that time in December we pay for the holidays for the employees, and that comes out in December. And if we don't get the money, we'll be a little short on payroll. So that was one of my reasons and one of my concerns. If we don't get the tax money that's due, I think it's with $500,000 that he was hoping that would come in. And that was one of the reasons I was questioning about what do we do at that point in time. Now, I did see that his recommendation was to take money from TIP 4 and from the CN mitigation. And he didn't, there was nothing on his report or anything, any suggestions last time to remove money from the water fund. So I don't know if that was, is that a contingent or, I mean, and this is what I brought up before, what do we do come November, I'm sorry, come December if that money's not due, what, I mean, if that money doesn't come in, what contingent do we have as a board to put in place? And that's what I was asking.
I think if we go back the last 3 years, it's been discussion about December and how we were going to make payroll, and we thought there was going to be layoffs. This is something that's been discussed every year for the last 3 years. And I can tell you is, for the last 2 years, we've made payroll, we've made payments we had to. The money has come in. So, and like you said, we're not taking any money from, what's that called, the water fund. So, water funds are still available. Water funds are still available if needed, but talking to our state representatives, they feel confident that we're going to receive the money. Again, this is just a gap measure. We've always had a gap measure where the funds come in at this period of time and something's due right now. So it's only a short time measure to borrow funds until our regular revenue comes in.
And I understand that, Mayor, and you know, I see that, but I don't want to have another meeting in December, so I'm asking you now, what, and this is all, this is, you say it's contingent, I understand that, but I'm looking for some type of plan or something that if the money doesn't come in by the time, which would be probably this time next month, what would be our contention? Can we talk about, can we put that in place now that money doesn't come in December? How do we cover that part of the payroll, which would be for the holiday pay and things like that? And that's what I'm asking. I mean, is that the consensus of the board or whatever to use the water fund money if the money doesn't come in? This is what I'm saying, to avoid another meeting in another month from now. If the money doesn't come in tonight, since we're talking about what do we do at that point, or at this point right now. We're here now, we're talking about it now. If it doesn't come in, what is it that we have in place or we discussed or we need to put in place if it doesn't come in? And I know you're saying that we talk to the legislators, I understand that, but right now I'm looking at, since we're here, this is what this is about, what is the consensus of the board that we do at this particular point in time if that money doesn't come in?
Well, number one, it's a special meeting for this agenda item only. You're looking to add additional discussion, which I don't know if we really should be talking about that. We've got plenty of time. We've got the month of November, we've got the month of December. Everything's going to catch on close eye if we have to. We've got committee meetings, and if we have to call for a special meeting again, which we have nights we can call in. That's something else we can discuss at another meeting. Tonight we're here for a special meeting to discuss the proposal borrow of various funds for these bonds. Nothing else is in here about talking about other contingencies and
That's okay, and you're absolutely right, because that's what I asked for at the last meeting. Could we, at the 7 o'clock meeting, talk about what we were going to do to move forward? But unfortunately, the 7 o'clock meeting was canceled. That was one of the things I wanted to put on the agenda, which I asked about, that and the $2 that we have already put in place for the money from the public for the water. In other words, we assessed $2 extra to make it $7.50 per 1,000 gallons, and the $2 that we assessed was specifically to pay off the loan. Now that that's done, but I asked for that to be put on the committee meeting, which was supposed to be scheduled at 7. And you're absolutely right, it's not scheduled now, so it's not on this particular meeting. But I was just assuming, since we're discussing money, I mean, Mayor, I'm not trying, and the rest of the board, I'm not trying to come back a month later and be held at another deadline that we have to do something because we ran short and we didn't get the money. I'm just asking, can we put something, or at least discuss something to put in place in case the money doesn't come? That's all. But
And I'm going to also remind everyone we're here on a special meeting to discuss the proposal to borrow funds from various funds to pay these bonds. And we're not here for any further discussion on what you want to add because it's not part of the agenda. Any other trustees, any other questions or comments? Trustee Martin?
Thank you, Mayor. One of the questions I have, and I hear Mr. Burgess's concern, but what other options do we have at this time? If we do not pay this, what are other options? Does anybody on the board have another option that we can bring to the table to pay these bonds?
There is no other option to pay bonds at this particular point because we don't have any other time. That's why I'm asking now to put in place, so next month, at the last minute, that we have no other option. Right now, there is no other option. We have to take money from wherever we can get it to pay these bonds by December 1st.
So for clarification, you do agree?
I didn't say that. I said, you asked me, did we have any other option?
So we have no, so you agree?
Right now, I'm saying right now, I'm not saying that I agree on anything. I'm saying we have no other option right now at this particular point in time, but to use the money that we talked about coming from the funds to pay the bonds because there's no other money. My question was to alleviate this a month from now. We hear, why can't we discuss, but the mayor said it's not on the agenda, so he's not going to discuss it. So I guess we'll wait until whenever to discuss if the money doesn't come in. So.
Any other questions or comments? Trustee Marshall?
We are not going to tap into the water fund this time, correct?
That's your decision. That's up to you. That's your vote. I mean, the recommendation from Mohan was those two funds. That was his recommendation. Did you get his final one for 458? On his one, the last one he had 300,000 from the from TIF 4 and 157 coming from the CN mitigation. That was his last recommendation. That's his recommendation. Well, that's his recommendation. You can make a recommendation on, no, you can make a recommendation on whatever fund that we have that's available that we can do. That's up to you. That was his recommendation.
Any other questions or comments? No.
Yes, these are comments. Okay. Right. That's it.
So there's no other options on the table?
No.
There are, well, I won't say there are no other options. Those were his options. There are three places you can take it from right now. Mohan option were those two. No, that didn't say there was other two. I said Mohan's option were, there are three options. Water, there's money in water. CN, TIF 4. His recommendation was CN and TIF 4 for this particular part.
Correct. To borrow to pay for these bonds, which would have the money coming in at the end of the year. And then be reimbursed back to these funds.
Do any other trustees have any other options on the table? Anybody else have any other ideas than what the finance director is giving us?
Well, there's other things in plans to bring in revenue, but there's nothing that we can do that towards this. There's all kinds of things out there. There's all kinds of things out there that we have looked into and bring in various amount of money to revenue. This is not the quickest way we can do it to sell one debt. If we don't, we're going to be still paying all kind of fines, and so we're going to be right back in the hard place again. So we need to take care of these now.
Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, that is for item number 3, motion to approve borrowing from various funds to pay the 2007 A, B, C bonds in the amount, and it's going to be a revised number based on the latest, which is $457,929.35.
Mr. Mayor, can we amend the motion to stipulate what funds and how much from each fund?
I can add it. The CN noise account will borrow $157,929.35. From TIF 4 Illinois funds, we will borrow $300,000 for the total of the $457,929.35. Is there a motion to approve? The motion is there a second? Motion is second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee.
Are we going to go with the first or the second? You said 457. I think you needed 458. Are we gonna go, which one are we gonna go with?
457 with the latest numbers. Right here.
I have 458.
Do you have this in your box?
Yes.
Right, it's from Mohawk, it's a memorandum?
Okay, then what you said, that's his latest, but it is a matter of, the amount is 458. I don't know where he got the extra thousand from, but
We just amended the motion for $457,000 in the funds.
that's why I asked, that's why I was asking the mayor, he said 457.
That's what it is.
It's right here.
Then where's the 458 from?
That was a proposed figure that he gave us last week. We based it on the agenda at 458.
Right.
Since then, the figure has changed to this, and the amount that it's going to be borrowed is this. This is an updated memorandum.
This is the amount that's currently borrowed. It's lower by about $1,000.
The motion was
Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Costa. Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Move to item number 4, public comment pertaining to agenda items only.
Mr. Mayor, before we go further with public comment, I would like to have on the next committee meeting of the whole, which will probably be 2 weeks from now, that we discuss next month's payment and also the $2 assessment that we for the water.
Trustee, yeah, no problem. We'll add those, but you better read your ordinance. So, that's all I can say.
I better, what do you mean by I better report?
Read the ordinance while the 2 hours have passed.
No, I'm asking, okay. All I'm asking is to have it put on the agenda to discuss it.
Okay,
I didn't say that I was going to, as far as reading my ordinance, I read the ordinance, Mayor. I'm just asking to have it put on the agenda. I didn't say that it was anything to do with the ordinance. I just said to discuss it.
Yeah, but
And then you want to discuss the
I want to discuss the last increase, absolutely.
And,
And also want to discuss the contingency plan for next month.
okay.
I just, because you made some false statements about that last $2 raise, so I just want to make sure that you read your ordinance. All right?
I'll put a copy in everybody's box. So they have-
Mayor, I'm not, okay, I'm not here for that. I know what I said, and okay, but I'm just asking now to have it put on the ordinance, put on the agenda for the next committee meeting that we discuss. Not that, if I made a mistake, I'll be the first to say I did. I don't think so, but we're not here for that.
But I think your statement was the $2 increase was for the loan, but it wasn't. So that's why I say make sure you read your ordinance so you're prepared for the next meeting.
I'm prepared all the time, Mayor. I'm not going through that. I'm prepared. All I'm asking is to have it put on.
And I said it on the agenda.
Thank you. That's,
What do you want?
Can't hear you.
Ask him a question first before I ask, publicly.
Let's talk about it.
You have 2 weeks to talk about this.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks to talk about it. All right. Public comments pertaining to agenda items only. Any questions or comments from the public?
Yes, sir. I understand a lot of.
Joe, is your mic on? No, I think your mic's on. Can you see the green light?
Do you know how to turn it on?
Just hold the button on until the green light comes on, and then you can let go.
We just want.
One of the things I don't understand is and I understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, but what I don't understand is, shouldn't this have been something that was on the budget so that we would be better prepared? At the same time, every year, this comes up, so we should be able to have that budgeted. I think, I don't know, that's what I'm asking. Should that have been something that was included on the budget, so we didn't really have to do this?
You bring up a great point, and just so everyone realizes, this is part of the budget. And sometimes it's hard to explain. Sauk Village doesn't have all this money sitting in an account. What Sauk Village pays their bills is based off what revenue comes in through our tax revenue. This is part of the budget to be paid. We are in what you want to call a gap or a lull where the tax revenue has not come in yet. This bill is due at the beginning of December. I think it's the beginning of December. We have to have it. We have to have the funds available by in November timeframe. We said November 12th, so that's why we're here tonight for the special meeting. So what happens is this revenue to pay this isn't going to be received until December. It is budgeted, and it's hard to explain. Anyone who works and gets paid twice a month, you try to make sure that you space your money out. The thing is, you know, we have tax revenue comes in at the beginning of the year, we have tax revenue comes in at the end of the year, and Sauk Village has always had a gap. It goes back to previous administrations way before me. Sauk Village has always got a $500,000 line of credit in between this gap. So Sauk Village would have the funds available to make those payments, and at the end of the year, every year, they pay back that $500,000. Well, since about 2009, Sauk Village has not been getting that $500,000 line of credit. Previous administration used other funds to borrow, which we all know, which those funds came from the water fund. And in a way, I guess you could say it's good, in a way you could say it's bad. But number one, we can do it. Number two, we're not paying the interest back for that line of credit, because when you get a line of credit through a bank, you have to pay interest. So by us borrowing money from our own funds, which are there, the water fund, we're not paying additional interest. So it's something that, you know, we need to look at. Again, it's something that has hit the village every year, probably going back 15, 20 years. There's a gap in there that Sauk Village is waiting for their funds to come in, but we still have to pay bills. So, but it is budgeted. And when the funds come in, these funds will come out of there as if they paid this, but those funds will be taken and paid back where we borrowed these funds from. So hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions or comments? All right. Seeing none and hearing none, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Mr. Mayor, why was the committee meeting canceled?
Meeting was canceled because there was nothing to, that was prepared, ready to discuss.
You don't have an agenda for week to week?
We make the agenda.
Then last week you didn't make an agenda for the committee meeting?
There's things that come through that help us prepare for those, and some of the things that we were hoping for. If you were here for the enterprise meeting this last week, we were waiting for a ordinance to be discussed for enterprise zones. That ordinance was not prepared. In fact, we didn't get it until yesterday. So it's kind of hard to prepare for a meeting when you don't have the stuff in your hand. You have to have it Friday, at least the Friday before, so you can start getting your agenda ready. We didn't receive the stuff, so that's why.
That was the only thing I knew. Thank you.
I couldn't have